Hi, my name is Joanna Schofield. I am a master's candidate at Kent State University. I'd like to begin by thanking everyone for attending the workshop, Designing and Using Pathfinders for Youth in Public Libraries. Before I entered the field of librarianship, I spent 2 years teaching middle grades language arts and science in Atlanta, Georgia. This experience has led me to have a particular interest in the use of instructional aids for reference service, and this workshop represents some of the research and practical instruction available in this area. If after this presentation you find yourself looking for more information, please refer to the bibliography included in your workshop packet. So, without further ado, let us begin to examine the exciting world of Pathfinders. Hi, my name is Joanna Schofield, and I am a master's candidate at Kent State University. I'd like to begin by thanking everyone for attending the workshop, Designing and Using Pathfinders for Youth in Public Libraries. Before I entered the field of librarianship, I spent 2 years teaching middle grades language arts and science in Atlanta, Georgia. This experience has led me to have a particular interest in the use of instructional aids for reference service, and this workshop represents some of the research and practical instruction available in this area. If after this presentation you find yourself looking for more information, please refer to the bibliography included in your workshop packet. So, without further ado, let us begin to examine the exciting world of Pathfinders. Before we enter the meat of the presentation, let us first define our objectives for the next hour. By the end of the hour, I expect that you will be able to define the term Pathfinder, discuss the components of a Pathfinder, and be able to use annotated bibliographical text in order to select materials appropriate for a specific aid. I also expect that you will be able to select age-appropriate resources and create age-appropriate Pathfinders for use in your library. Lastly, I expect that you will be able to describe various ways to market Pathfinders in your library, and of course, be eager to take this knowledge and apply it to your specific patron demographics and needs. For this presentation, each attendee will need access to notepaper, writing utensils, and varied annotated bibliographical text. These texts are available at most public libraries and can be accessed through interlibrary loan or regional consortiums if available. If you are unsure, please refer to the bibliography included in your packet for some of my favorite texts. Access to a computer with internet access is also useful, but not required. If you are conducting this presentation remotely, please note that attendees are seated in small group workstations, so they may be able to collaborate on exercises later in this presentation. Now that our administrative information is out of the way, we can begin discussing Pathfinders. For those of you who are not familiar with the term, a Pathfinder is an instructional aid used to provide reference service while allowing the user to research independently. It is a prepared list of library-recommended resources on a given topic. Librarians are most often the creators of these aids. There is a basic design to most Pathfinders. This is a screenshot of a Pathfinder I created to help illustrate the anatomy of a Pathfinder. It is available in your workshop packet. At the top is the title, You can name your Pathfinder anything you choose. However, many people often have a title and a subtitle. A common example is the Renaissance, a research guide. The title is usually divided from the rest of the text with a line divider. Below that is a brief paragraph describing the topic. The paragraph is typically 3 to 4 sentences in length. This description is a brief overview of the topic. Below the topic overview is another line divider. This line divider is usually not a solid line, but instead is a designed series of dots or other symbols. Next, you will find a series of small boxes listing recommended keywords, library subject headings, Dewey Decimal numbers, local resources, or any other short pieces of information. Beneath the small boxes are larger boxes that list other resources, such as encyclopedias, journal articles, print text, or multimedia resources. A further description of sources will be discussed later in this presentation. At the bottom of the first page, a small box containing creator information is recommended. This box typically contains the creator's name, library affiliation, such as Kent State University, Akron-Summit County Public Library, etc., and the year the Pathfinder was created. Other important elements are design elements. This can be a border around each page, as shown in this example. You can also add pictures, diagrams, or other aesthetic elements to make your Pathfinder more interesting. It is also customary to limit the length of your Pathfinder to 2 pages, or 4 screens if it is displayed online. Pathfinders are not designed to be an exhaustive list of resources on a given topic. Instead, its purpose is to be a small, recommended list of resources to help someone begin research on a given topic. Now that you have a basic understanding of the purpose and anatomy of Pathfinder, it is time to delve into the nitty-gritty of creating your own. So, the first question you should ask yourself before you begin exploring resources is, what is the topic that I want to address? There are 2 routes that Pathfinder topics are usually chosen: teacher request and popular interest. In the public library setting, one of the best ways to collaborate with local schools is to create a library assignment alert form. These forms are designed to allow teachers to submit a request for library materials to be compiled for a particular topic or assignment. The image on the screen now is a sample library assignment alert form. These 3 links represent 3 successful assignment alert forms that you can use to design your own. Some of the elements you want to consider using on your own form are school contact information, such as the teacher's name, phone number, school name, etc., the grade level, the number of students in the class that will be exploring this topic, and the assignment description. The assignment description can help guide librarians to particular sources. For example, if the assignment is to create a PowerPoint on the cultural heritage of Mozambique, adding an article about the financial system of Mozambique will not be effective. Discovering the types of materials that a teacher wants her students to use is very helpful. For example, if the teacher is using this project to teach students the benefits of Web 2.0 sources, including print encyclopedias is not useful, and instead you want to focus on blog articles and wikis. Other important details to address are the beginning and ending of the unit, for example the dates, whether or not a reserve shelf at the library is requested, and any additional comments that the teacher wants to communicate to the library or librarian. This form is not only useful in helping librarians create Pathfinders, but it can also be used to create resource units loaned to the classroom, other instructional aids like bookmarks, and even information literacy programming. This form can also be modified to allow organizations or groups to request reference help from libraries for events. An example of this may be that the local hospital who wants to offer resources to siblings with new premature brothers or sisters. A Pathfinder designed to help youth understand prematurity would be a great addition to a Welcome to the NICU packet. The second way that Pathfinder topics are chosen is by a librarian deciding to create one based on popular interest topics. There are many general topics that youth want to learn more about outside of school assignments. Some of these topics are fitness, religion, health, money, sexuality and gender, and holidays. Pathfinders on these topics can be offered both online and at the library to help guide youth towards useful resources. This is a particularly useful way to offer reference help to youth who may otherwise be uncomfortable asking for help. Now that we have discussed how a topic can be selected, we can discuss the 4 steps to developing Pathfinders. First, you must examine the topic and available resources. Next, you must create the Pathfinder. This involves selecting the best resources in terms of authority, accuracy, appropriateness, balance, and relevance. After the resources are selected, you must create your Pathfinder using word processing software such as Microsoft Word. Next, you must look over your Pathfinder as a final edit and publish it either as copies available at your local library or on a website online. Lastly, you must market your Pathfinder so that your patrons know it's available. As stated earlier, one of the first steps in developing Pathfinders is to explore the topic and available resources. Some suggestions to explore are other Pathfinders, such as the ones available at www.ipl.org, your library collection, government resources, internet databases, and local resources, such as local college courses and historical societies. An extremely useful resource is annotated bibliographic text. These texts are typically lists of resources organized by genre or even topic that provides a full citation and a brief description of the resource. Looking through annotated bibliographic texts can help lead you to interesting resources. The best part about them is that professionals have already selected them as quality items. This can save you a lot of time. When exploring for items, there are many factors you you should consider before selecting a resource for your Pathfinder. First, you should consider the age of the intended audience. Resources designed for first graders are very different than those for high schoolers. Second, you should consider the prior knowledge of the intended audience. The resources you would select for medical professionals would need to be very different than those designed for parents or caregivers. In addition, when creating Pathfinders for youth, those that are designed for, let's say, skateboard enthusiasts would be very different than a Pathfinder designed for a first grader getting his first skateboard. Third, you should consider any special needs that the intended audience may have. This affects the type of resources you select and the resource's features. If your Pathfinder is intended for blind elementary school students, you should seek out Braille books and read aloud encyclopedias. Fourth, if you are creating a Pathfinder at the request of a teacher, you should consider the assignment and the assignment requirements. There is no point in adding print text if the teacher wants the students to only use digital resources. Lastly, you should consider how accessibility of the resource. Does the user have to request the resource from interlibrary loan? Does he have to independently pay for access? These are all factors you should consider when exploring and initially selecting resources for your Pathfinders. For the next 10 minutes, we are going to explore annotated bibliographic text so that you may explore them yourself. I would like you to think about creating a Pathfinder and to see if you can locate any materials appropriate for your topic. I'll be walking around to help you as needed. If you are giving this presentation yourself at your own library, go ahead and pause the presentation now, and you can return to it as soon as you're done exploring annotated bibliographic text. Hi, and welcome back. Okay, now that we've spent the last 10 minutes exploring annotated bibliographic text, let's discuss some more factors to consider when making final decisions about items to include on your Pathfinder. There are 5 factors I want you to consider: authority, accuracy, appropriateness, balance, and relevance. Is the resource published by an authoritative group? Most of your resources should be published by experts in the field. While some blogs may be useful sources, they should be presented in a separate box indicating that they are blogs so that users understand they are not as authoritative as encyclopedias or journal articles. Is the resource accurate? My favorite example is an article I read a while back about crocodiles living under the streets in New York City. When I was teaching, I loved to have my students search for this article and discuss the authoritativeness and accuracy of the resource. In addition, use your common sense when selecting resources. Also, ensure that items you are choosing are both appropriate to your intended audience and provide a balanced examination of the topic. Lastly, the most important task in creating Pathfinders is ensuring that all of your resources are relevant to the topic. After all, information seekers want to use Pathfinders where all the resources address the topic they are actually researching. Once you've selected all the materials for your Pathfinder, it is time to create the actual document. Attached in your workshop handout is a step-by-step tutorial for creating Pathfinders in Microsoft Word that includes both directions and screenshots. Please take a look at this document now and feel free to ask any questions at the end. Next, we move along to publishing your Pathfinder. If you choose to distribute your Pathfinder as handouts in your library, go ahead and print it out and perform a final edit. Make sure it looks and says what you want it to. If you choose to publish your materials online, such as on your library page, which you should, by the way, there are a few factors you should consider: readability, navigation, templates, printer-friendly, and images. How easy is your Pathfinder to read? You want to use legible font and make it look professional. I know we are all tempted at times to have tie-dyed colored text and puppy noises, but let's save that for other times. I'm just kidding, by the way. If you decide to link to other pages in your Pathfinder, such as journal articles or databases, make sure that your links work. Also, please make sure that you periodically try out your links to ensure that web addresses have not changed. Make sure that information seekers can easily navigate to your Pathfinder